Welcome to the Atlanta SEO for Local Businesses Meetup. I am 𝗪𝗱𝗀 𝗪𝗧 here today with Andy Simpson, my co-organizer, and we have this meetup every month. It is the second Wednesday of the month at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I have the links for our YouTube, Facebook group, and meetup in the chat, so go ahead and take a look at that. And today's topic is diving into the AI-enhanced future and interactive exploration of Google's search generative experience with Andy. And so this is going to be interactive. So make sure you put your questions in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and let Andy go ahead and start us off.
My heart's doing this at the moment. That title sounded really flash and fancy. Okay, so here goes. Right, let me do the classics. So the search generative, I can't say that word, generative experience launched at the end of May, and I was one of the lucky ones that got day one access. So I have been playing with it for a while. Some of you may or may not have been. So what I'm trying to do is multitask, and obviously I'm male, so that is extremely difficult. So there we go. The classic is, can you see my screen? Good. So let me zoom in. I'll play with that. So when we start seeing results, it'll be zoomed and nice. But anybody in the US can sign up for this. So let me find the chat, because I want to put in there. Anybody can sign up for this in the US. And if you haven't done already, then here's the link. labs.google.com/search. If you are anywhere else in the world, people have been able to access this by using a VPN. So if you're in Canada, France, Spain, wherever, somewhere in the world, use a VPN, fake your location to the US. And some people have been getting away with it. So that's, you know, if we do have an international audience today, I don't know if we have or not, then fine. If you're in the US, sign up using your Google account, and you will see something that looks like this. Let me just actually search labs, and you actually register for it here. So you can search at any time. Once you're in search this SGE, and you don't want to start seeing it again because it's annoying, and you want to switch it on, switch it off, you can just, can switch it off at any time and switch it on at any time. You just have to re-agree to the
Andy,
experience.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Can you explain what this actually is?
I'm going into that. Yes, that is, I'm going straight into that. So I think I might have, it's during the sign up process. You can switch it on and switch it off, but this is one screen you will see during the sign up process if you haven't got it already.
But what am I signing up for?
For the search generative experience, which I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Right. Well, let me tell you what. Let me show you a really good. I'm going to play a, typical no bloody sound. No, I'll send you the link. It's a trend. I was going to show you a trendy video from Google about what the SGE is. So
that's okay. I looked it up now. I've got a definition now. So now I understand what we're looking at.
Okay, I apologize for doing that.
Oh, no, that's okay. It just said it was a set of search and interface capabilities that integrates generative AI powered results into Google search engine query responses. There you go.
So let's just cut to the chase, shall we? So what is SGE from Google? I don't know if and let's see if it gives us. So at the very top of the screen, look, it starts producing a generative AI answer. So that's it. That's what we're looking at the very top. So this is what we're going to be looking at, the top part of the screen. That's what it's produced. So underneath that is the normal search engine, organic search engine results. But at the very top, like a featured snippet, so there's also a featured snippet there, look. But at the very top, this is that fancy color. Colors can vary, and you'll see that in a second. So we get a summarized version, like a featured snippet summary from the websites that are listed on the right-hand side. So these here, this is where it's got the content from to produce this paragraph of information. So it's showing you its references on the right-hand side. And you typically, there's 3, 4, 5 results of where it's pulled its source from. Okay, so that very blue bar is what you're looking at. You can see here, you can ask, it's giving you questions that you can consider, follow-up questions, or you can also ask follow-up questions. But I'm going to be clicking on all those in a second with a couple of other examples that I've got. One other thing I want to show you when we're just looking at this screen. So this is a summary with the references on the right-hand side. You've also got something here, which is called, the developers have called it the bear claw, because it looks like a bear claw. So apparently that's what it's called in-house. So you click on that and it expands the results on the left. So the expanded view, that's basically what it is. And it's now showing you where it's this text, where it's pulled where it's pulled that information from. Okay, so that, but one thing to look at, look where your organic results have disappeared to. They're way down here, and then you're into the normal search results.
Well, see, that was my question. This is what has been worrying me ever since I started using this AI tool, is that is Google search eventually just going to give me the answer and not, and so my SEO is pointless, is worthless?
Well, no, because yes and no. Well, that's what a lot of people are thinking. I'm thinking the same as what I'm, but don't forget, this AI has to get this information from somewhere. So we still have to feed the beast.
Well, yeah, but if the beast isn't going to feed me back.
Well, but it sounds though like here you've got, so instead of more looking at getting in the search results, you're trying to get into the generative AI, where like you see you've got words like the top word stream, search engine land, search engine journal. So you're trying to get more into those. Is that correct, Andy?
Yeah, for this particular search query, what we're going to do is look at some businesses and just to see what it returns.
Okay, good. That's okay, what I'm just worried about this, Andy. This is one reason I'm here, because I want you to make me unworry.
No, I'd be worried.
Well, everything's changing so fast, you know?
Exactly, and this is what now this isn't
for old ladies like me to keep up.
Now this, let me unexpand that. Let me compress it again. And like I said, organic results. Oh, where was my train of thought going there?
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. So let's look at so I've got some examples to show. I'm just going to click through some examples, and for the people that are here, thank you very much for turning up. If you want to stop me at any time so we can dig into what we're looking at on the screen, not a problem. Now, that's what I was going to say. Now, remember, this isn't open to the general public. You have to sign up for this. So our normal users, our customers, unless they've signed up and are digital or techie or a bit geeky like me and you, and, you know, we're into this market, no one's seeing this yet. You know, your mother-in-law, my auntie, my wife aren't seeing results like this yet. So what we're doing at my company, we're preparing ourselves so when this is launched in whatever format, that then we're trying to be ready for it. Yeah. So we can see the sort of information. This thing changes almost on a weekly basis. They change the layout, they tweak it here. So it's evolving. So this week, at this moment in time, this is the information it's giving us. Okay.
So when you say not everyone has access to, we all have to sign up, it is the intent that that this is something that is going to be like, you're not going to sign up for in the future. It's just going to be there.
Well, that's the big question mark. Okay. Personally, something like this will be launched to the general public because Bing have already done it. You go to bing.com and you've got the chat tab. And you're into their AI interface. So Google haven't rolled out to the general public this kind of interface yet. They're getting people like us to test it and play with it and see what's going on. They cannot not, personally, I don't think they cannot not roll out something like this because everybody else is, or their competitors are. You know, you've got ChatGPT, you've got Bing. I know no one uses Bing, but that's another story. But they have to produce something, yeah? Why I keep looking over here is that's where you are on my screen, so that's why I'm distracted. But let me go to, so you go up to this little labs. Once you're in the labs and you're signed up, you'll see this little flask, this experimental flask thing. If we look here, look, ends December 20. See, that's if I clicked on it. So here it says ends December 2023. No idea what's is that when they launch it to the general public? Is that when it just, or does it disappear? No one knows. You click through on that and it doesn't tell you anymore. It basically says just sign up, and it just gives you an overview of what SGE is. So there is an expiry date on what we're looking at. We just don't know what's going to follow. Okay, so at the moment, people like you and I are testing this to see what the AI is producing, see if we agree with it. Is it out of date? If it's out of date, can we update the information it knows about, etc.? Okay. So let me go back to that. I was gonna, because we're talking local business and that's sort of our target group, let me grab a link. Sorry, I'm just.
After you get that, we do have a question, Andy. So
well, let's take it. No, let's take it now.
Well, it says this is from Mark. He says, and I don't know if we know the answer to this yet. Will ads be more prominent above the fold, or if so, where?
No,
where?
That's a really good comment, and I've heard that from a few people. So let's do an example where you would see ads. So, you know, you're not going to see an ads on personal injury lawyer Atlanta. Let's do that. And typically you would see the cost per click. So this, look, there is no automatic generated AI search to that, but I can hit generate and then it will generate an AI answer salute to that where it recommends, but I'm going to come on to that into the second.
So
because
this
going on to the ads,
okay,
we see it now. This is my theory, and other people have supported it. It's big. Don't forget, we're in a beta environment, so I think they're limiting the adverts that are seen by people, because this is only to a test group of people testing this. So why waste time and money? Because cost per click and we're not possibly their target audience. So I think they're showing less ads on here in this test environment. Okay. So we're not seeing any advertising in this generative AI experience, but perhaps when it launches, we might hear in this this space here, that's where we might see a local LSAs or, you know, adverts. We don't know yet because it's not launched. Down in the normal search results here, we've seen a couple, you know, we've got ads there, and then you're into the organic. So this space, no adverts, but when it's launched, maybe that's when they start slipping in ads and things, because they've done that on the Bing search results, Bing chat, which is their AI version. They do have ads in their AI produced answers. Is that okay? Good.
And I think to Beth's point here, and I'm sorry, I've got my landscape.
No, it's an interactive. That's what I stressed.
But to Beth's question, like they've got, as far as SEO, Google's pulled someone up here where it says Atlanta personal injury lawyer and has them some listed. So you would still be trying to get into the AI, which is different than just the regular search. Is that right?
Yes, but you'll find typically what it's showing in the AI answer is also what's down in there. So we've got Atlanta personal injury. So who's this guy? He's probably, there you go. This is the guy that's showing in the top. So if you're in the map already, and we'll come on to this because I want to show you the 3-pack is not a 3-pack, it's something else, blah, blah, blah. So let's get on to that. So let me show you.
I guess this is my question, Andy. Maybe you can answer it, maybe not. Okay. So it's creating this AI article based on information that it's getting from these sources.
Yes.
Okay. So is it always going to use the information from the person who does the best SEO job? Because that's basically what you're saying here, that even though my information might not be the right information, I'm doing the best job at SEO and I'm showing up here, so I'm getting included in the AI.
Yes.
That don't seem right.
Well, that's kind of SEO. I mean, like anybody can publish anything. It doesn't necessarily mean it's right. So that's kind of how things currently are. It's just, you know, if you're
yes, but if you know, well, yes, but if the real intent of AI is to conglomerate and summarize the information on the internet, it shouldn't just be looking at the top 3 search results. It should be looking at all of the search results and then figuring out what the right answer is.
However, as
in my opinion.
I can't answer that. There was a lot there, but you're right. You know, it's like, don't worry about being on, you know, we're not worried about being in the organic anymore because it's pushing all the results down. It's being in this area. So are you one of these, are you one of these 5? So that's a local result. That's a local result. This is somebody's website. So, you know, are you in the, and that's what I'm suggesting to companies like yourself. You know, when you do a brand search for you, what information is appearing? Who is ranking in that right-hand 3-pack? Well, not 3, it's 5 or whatever it is. It varies 3 to 5. Are you in there? Is the information being pulled correct, etc.? And don't forget, I said before, this is a work in progress. This could change in a blink of an eye, in Google.
Yeah, I just want to be on the leading edge.
A test.
I just want to be on the leading edge of whatever Google's doing in this area, because it can significantly change everything we do.
Yeah.
Everything. And they don't give a crap that we all have to rework everything we've ever done in terms of SEO and we got to start over from scratch. They don't care. So
I agree. So now let me show you let me show you another. This is for small business. This is another interesting thing I found on many brand searches. So let me just show you something. So I did a search for this. I did a search for personal injury lawyer near me. So I live up near 𝗪𝗲𝗄. So it's all in the Swanee area. Here we go. So nothing for I hit generate and it gives me a 5-pack. So this is, I know you can see 4 images, but this is also a listing here. Okay. And if you click on one of these, you don't click through to the website or anything. It just changes the right-hand side to show that business information. And then you can click through to the, you can click through to the website, etc. All right. And then down here, don't forget, so this is the 3-pack. So these Bros, Toby, and the Law of John. So we've got Bros, Toby, John. We've got Bros, Toby, John, plus 2 more. So if this is what I want to show you. So if I do a then, I think, okay, Bros, 𝗪𝗲𝗀𝘆, no idea who that is, but I'm going to pop in it. I'm going to pop him in here and then see what the AI produces for his brand. Something's been produced. I didn't have to hit generate, but this is what I've got to stress, and which I don't understand right now. On the right-hand side, where the information for this is being pulled, does not include his website. His website is not any of these 5. That's a local listing. That's a local, that's a Google, that's from this, I'm looking at the URL at the bottom. That's from the Chamber of Commerce website. This is law.info, which is not his website. Super Lawyers and LinkedIn. So none of this information here is pulled. So if we expand that, none of that information is pulled from his website.
That's really interesting, and also a way to kind of look at and say, like, you know, citations, you know, we say that they're important, but they've gone down in value, but these are actually like citations. So we need to make sure that our information is correct, that you don't have something out there with the bad information. Correct. So that all that comes up.
But correct. So the answer, now this doesn't happen all, I get excited about this. This doesn't happen all the time. On some brands, you do see the website and it's pulling the website information and that information. But for this particular company, and I've seen it for other companies, their website isn't even mentioned in that big answer that Google supplies. Now, the images, the good news is that these images are pulled from his GMB, what's that? His GBP listing. So look, I click on an image, and it's pulled from his GBP listing. These reviews.
That's very interesting.
Reviews are pulled from his Google. So again, let me click on there for you. I get taken through to his map listing and the review by the person. But my concern, I'm not worried because I'm not, you know, I don't lose any sleep about it. But, you know, why isn't that person's website, this company's website, listed in this 5 at the side?
Because they don't have the right SEO.
Is his brand not strong enough? So, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so therefore going back to what Trisha was saying, we've got to make sure that these websites have got the right information, because that's at the moment where the AI is pulling the information from.
Well, here's another question for you. It's rhetorical. I know you can't answer it, but what this muddies the water with all of this stuff some more is now I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on. Oh, the picture. Oh, is Google positioning themselves to make this so our own website becomes irrelevant and we need to have everything on our Google business profile listing and not have a website?
Well, I would say no. I'll give my answer and I'll let Andy give his. I would say that a lot of times that's a little bit how it is now, as far as like people go straight to Google as your homepage, but that does not mean you don't need your own website, because you know, your Google business profile has your link to it. And if people want to get the direct information, you know, they'll go to your website or they'll just contact you directly. So I would say you still.
But if I do a search like this and my website doesn't even come up, isn't Google saying, you know, your website's irrelevant?
But sometimes it does.
Let me do it. Now, this is a brand search, and this is what I've been noticing on brand searches on big major brands. And this is what I'm going to come on to in a second. So if I did a search on Apple.
Before you go to that page, Andy, okay, go ahead. I've got a question for you, but on that.
No.
Does it, so when we're looking at these, where it has like accessibility, I'm wondering, is that pulling from their Google business profile and virtual appointments and hours?
It's allegedly, it is pulling from, so I'm guessing that is that. Could be pulling from, that information there could have been pulled from, that doesn't have the hours, does it?
But if it had accessibility in it, and that's like in the answers were kind of based right there.
There you go. So yes,
it is the Google business profile, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Attributes. So that's you really got to check on your Google business profile, make sure it's all current. So
let me just show you some additional what you can do. So ask a follow-up question. Are they a good company? So again, it pulls the reviews
Mm-hmm.
from,
Yeah.
From Google,
from its Google listing. Again,
only
there's
what
more
Google
reviews.
says.
Well,
Again,
but it
more
said
Google.
from 2 verified sites. So, post on 2 verified review sites. So not just Google. I wonder where what the second site is.
That's Google. They're both, those two are both Google.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see
So
that. So
Andy,
yes.
because I'm not, it's too early to go worrying about making changes to things based on this, correct?
Yes. But it's in, but one thing, you might actually spot an error on one of these third-party websites and you can go correct it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I just meant in terms of changing the way we're doing businesses, or let's all go out and check our citations today because this might be happening, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I
And
would
think
say
it's
on
too early to do that, don't you?
I would say on a general rule, you should kind of maybe run your citations like once a year, every 6 months, and just make sure that
Yeah.
they're correct. So
Yeah, of
that's
course.
really-
But what I meant was, this is not something we need to immediately react to.
No, just the general, again, the general public aren't seeing this.
And this is, and it's labeled labs, yeah? So
Yes.
they're playing with stuff, they're changing stuff, they're
Yes.
working on what's the best way to do this.
But I think it's
But
good
they
to know-
generally don't give a crap about us. So I don't see it going in our favor.
Well, no, but I think it's good to know so that when this does come out of labs and is going to be implemented, you're ahead of everyone else. You know what's going on and you know what the searches are looking like.
Oh, no, I agree. I want the knowledge. I just don't think Google's going to be like, oh, let's help the entrepreneurs.
Well,
No,
I don't
their
think
thing
Google's
is
ever
we want to
really-
give you the information you're looking for. And we don't really care where it lands. We don't really care who gets the juice.
No, I'm with you. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Again, what are we into July? This
Yeah.
expires at the end of December. This thing could be a completely different beast by the end.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is get in there, register and start playing with it, because kind of this is the future. I see it, you know, Google want to get away with showing that 10 blue links, whatever, to click through. They want you to stay in their experience, and this is keeping them in their experience. But we're feeding them with information, hence having our own website and being on third-party sites. We've got to make sure for our business that that information is up to date and correct, and making sure what we want our users to see is correct.
Yeah.
Now, let me just, I said, are they a good company? Let me just point out an observation here. So again, images from the GBP, their website that's their website.
So it is.
It's the fourth. I had to click to it to see it. So, you know, their website was still not visible. So that's, for me, if that was my client, I'd be concerned. I'd start just thinking why am I not showing clearly in that? And then one follow-up question, because they're a PI firm, I'll just say, do they do car accidents? They do truck. So blah, blah, blah. Again, yes, they do. But look, so that's a review. That's a Google. That's from lawyers.com. That's a review. So what I'm doing at the bottom left, I can see where the source is for that. So I'm not clicking through, but that's a Google review. Legal Reach website. And that's a Google again. So no clicks. So none of this clicks. There's no click through to that website. And again, 2 more reviews. Can you give me direction?
I would say their Google business profile will come. Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay. Oh, okay. So they don't even pull up like their Google business profile. They just like pull the map up. Well, there I think. What was that below that? Scroll down a little bit.
And then their website.
Their
So
website.
we've got a
Okay.
link to their website.
So you then it gives you a link. Okay.
To the site, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that was one observation about the worry that not everybody sees. Don't expect to see the source of the information coming from your website for whatever reason. And that's things like that I like to dig into and find out why.
So you were going to do a large, well-known company?
Yeah, so
Sorry, just fell out.
some things. Now, this was from, as they say, a big shout out, but this Lily Ray did a great piece, and I'll share the link in the chat. He says, not being able to find the chat. The chat is there. Got so many screens. So Lily Ray did it. She said, now, it doesn't appear for the generative answers doesn't appear for everything. So some medical topics. So if I did a search for cancer, there, I was going to say it didn't produce one this morning. It doesn't produce an AI answer. But if I ask for this one, so some it does and some it doesn't. So I think it depends on the topic area. I don't know if it's sensitive or not. Who knows? Some queries for financial advice, it doesn't give an AI answer. So let's just ask for mortgage advice. So nothing at all there. Nothing. It didn't even think about that. It was like, no answer. If I hit converse, no, see, it doesn't even suggest. That's just the normal organic results. So it's not even trying to make up an answer. Now this list I'm going through of what it does and doesn't work for is in that document I've shared. Sensitive queries or conspiracies. Now, obviously, I have to be very careful being down here in Georgia. So I just kept it simple. You know, who shot JFK, blah, blah, blah. Again, no AI produced answers. Recipes. Cookie recipe, it doesn't do that. Again, so let me hit converse. I bet it does. Oh, no. All right. So the chefs among you that are watching, nothing to worry about there. Adult keywords, I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even going to try and do an example for that. And then big branded queries like Netflix, and I did Apple, so let me do Netflix. Again, it doesn't produce an automatic answer. I can probably hit generate and it'll give me something. So there you go. Look at that.
And Netflix is in there.
Netflix is the third one though. That's the weird thing. Why isn't it in number one? That's
their app store, their app, but yeah.
So it's Wikipedia, App Store, and then Netflix. That sometimes the ordering doesn't make sense. Let's just expand that. Yeah. Anyway, adult keywords, big brands, quick answers like what is the weather, or lyrics to songs. So I'll just do a classic here. You know, no AI there. If I hit converse, does it do exactly the same? Might just say that it's written by, no. So nothing there. So that was it. So there are things it doesn't automatically produce AI answers for. There is a lot of complaint about that the information that it provides in that summary of text is directly taken from the website. So it's copying the text from the site, and it's not the AI is not putting it in its own words, which a lot of people are complaining about, saying, hey, this should be unique and not copied directly from the site if it's giving you a summary. Lily does talk about some of that in her piece that I've shared. Anything else I want to talk about? That updating, if you do see information that is incorrect and it's taken, you can source it and it's taken from your website, a phone number, a contact address or something, and you can see that it's sourced from your site. And this also applies to the Bing information. If you update your information on your website, quite quickly that information gets updated in the AI produced answer. What else did I want to show you? This is interesting. Lily also pointed out that somebody found, so if I did, if I was looking for a piece of equipment or something, it will give me local stores that are selling that product and some local pricing. So product information there, followed by which local stores are selling it nearby. Okay, so that was an interest on products. So people that are selling products online. Doesn't work for everything, because I recently had to buy another blood pressure monitor. So if I just do my example here, watch it, it'll work now. So it's giving me reviews of monitors, but it's not showing me local stores selling that product. Yep. I want to go back to another idea. I want to bounce off you people. So we did have Greg, who was a real estate photographer. This is going to lead into something else in a second. So no generated AI there. But if I hit generate, there's the 5-pack. It's this information here, sort of Beth as well, that we were talking, you know, should you be having this kind of information, this copy, answering these questions on your website? How much money can you make from real estate photography? How do I make real estate photography for portfolio? Is this kind of information what you should have on your website to bring traffic to your site, etc.? That's probably a bad example, because
either way, I get your point, though. This is a good way to get research on what to write about.
Well,
Correct.
yeah, I would say either for FAQ or for blog post, depending on what type of question it is.
So let me go back to my world. So for a car accident lawyer, and if I generate an answer there.
Do you ever need to take a shower at the end of the day after you've dealt with all of those clients?
I was just saying, thankfully I've got a middle person between me and the client. So
okay.
they're lovely people. They're lovely people. Don't forget this is going on YouTube. So so I'll do car. I'm just going to click on a few follow-up questions. So I did character Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. You know, here, this sort of thing, you know, what is a hit and run in Georgia? You know, should my client be having this information on their website? So I click through to there. And sometimes it'll just default to an organic listing. There you go. Oh, no, okay. So I thought it was. So there's the organic. So here's some information. So this information has been pulled from, this summary has been, again, been pulled from a handful of websites. So I'm thinking I want to be one of those sites that is pulling that, where that information is being pulled for that question.
Yeah.
So content creation, maybe get a few ideas from these. This is also like, don't forget, we've also got the people also asked. Which it may or may not show us in this. No, it doesn't. But so these are also called, you know, like, you know, the normal people also ask these questions. I think that's what these are.
Yeah.
A selection of. Statute, that's a classic statute of limitations. You know, do I want to make sure that my client is listing here when somebody's searching for that? So if I just ask that out cold, instead of going through the, well, I just pop that in there. There's a featured snippet. Now, Good thing, actually, this is a good example. So this feature, the featured snippet that appears for normal people right now, that's what they'll see, is this featured snippet. And this is by bbga.com, the 𝗪𝗲𝗀𝗱𝘆. They are not these first three. So that featured snippet there is not in these first three. It's not. So, oh, one more. No, it's John Foy, Butler. So that's not them. So that featured snippet, this information is not being used in this AI answer.
Interesting.
So don't always assume. So I've seen it both ways. Yes, sometimes it is. And in this example, it's not. So here's your people also asked. Okay, did that make sense about don't expect that being up here?
Interesting question.
I've got Apple talking to me now.
Uh-oh.
Okay, have I covered everything? Yeah, let me just post this link. Miriam Ellis also posted just recently a good summary of her. She did more in-depth testing on SGE, and she's got some interest. She's got some good feedback there with some thoughts and summaries, conclusions about the whole state of SGE at the moment. So I've just shared that link in the chat. Okay, so do you want to give me, the audience, do you want to give me some queries to look for, to search for?
Yeah, if you guys have queries, put them in the chat, and we'll have Andy pull something up and look at it. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think like we discussed a minute ago, that we don't need to have a knee-jerk reaction, but it's good to go in and see, you know, like you have here, the questions at the bottom, you know, is that, you have that information on your website, so that when it comes up, you know, you've got that information, the answer.
My big thing is, don't be oblivious to this until it's launched to the public. Be on top of it, be aware of it, play with it, and see how your business lists, see how competitors perform. You know, does their website appear in that 3-panel here on the right hand side, if for an associated query? So there's a lot to play with.
Yeah, it's a good thing to kind of look at it and do a little bit of a competitor research, you know, where are you showing up, and where are they showing up that you're not, what do you need to do different?
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing right now.
So let's see.
But again, I'd say I'm not panicking about it, to Beth's point. You know, it's because it's not out there, and you know.
So Beth has
whatever change you
query
decide to
run.
make, whatever change you decide to make based on what this is doing now might be invalidated next week. That's why. Some of the stuff you're saying, Trisha, that's true, but that's out there today. People also asked.
Yeah,
so,
but it's a little bit different,
and so having that stuff beefed up and beefing up your citations, these are stuff you should be doing anyway. I'm just talking about, oh, I need to go do, oh my God, we got to go do these things because Google's changing these things, and it's too early to make those decisions. And I just wanted to make sure that people knew that. That's all.
But you can. The thing is, what you can do, and that's what I'm a big tester of things, is, you know, just with 1 or 2 clients, can I test? Can I actually appear in the AI for that particular search? And so I'm just playing and thinking, okay, I did this, this, and this. I had to add schema to the page, and that helped me rank for that term. So it's just playing with things. I'm not, again, like you, Beth, you know, it might, don't panic, don't worry about it really. But this is probably where the direction of where Google is going with its search experience. It might be an option when you go to google.com. It might be you might have an option to use AI, do not use AI. It might be a click on or click off thing.
So Beth does have 2 queries in the chat. Does anyone for you to take a look at?
Yeah, I'll just copy that.
Andy.
Saves me.
Anybody else have any queries to look at and see what comes up?
I can't be the only one who has questions.
So again,
one of these queries is for myself and the other one is for a client.
So this didn't automatically produce an answer.
Okay.
And there's, so at the moment, this is the experimental answer here. So
See,
we've
the
got
same thing,
these.
the same thing happens here as with a traditional Google search. Whenever you try to search on anything regarding WordPress and project management, you're going to get a list of plugins.
Hmm.
So I'm just going through there. I think there's actually, so up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 examples there. I don't know if any of those names look familiar to you, but
Yeah, they're talking about plugins and all.
Yeah.
It's all plugins. I was looking for my
Um,
course.
Yeah, I know.
well, let me
So-
localize that. Let me put your town or something like that.
Oh, it won't come up there either, but you can try it.
So give me a
Where-
location.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Greensboro.
No,
And-
no,
Yeah, it'd
take
be
off
fine. Google works. with
Okay,
it. There
okay.
you go.
Yeah.
All the time, my spelling is horrendous, so I just go, oh, Google will do it.
Yeah, now it's giving you generic project management courses for like PMP and stuff.
Yeah.
That's okay. Move on.
Okay, cool.
So
And
question,
then
so before we do the next query, Mark has a question. How does the SGE FAQ differ from organic people also ask? So if we look at this,
yeah, let's go back to a better. Well, you can't. Okay, how does it does it pull? No, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So these questions here, there's only 3. I've seen up to like 3 or 4, maybe. Well, there's only, sorry, there's 2 because
yeah,
I can ask a follow-up. I've seen 3, but no more. Where obviously you've got now the people also ask.
so one of those, the one that's first is 4 in the people also ask.
Yeah.
Then
So at least one of the 2 is in there. Let's just see if we can. Sometimes when you start expanding this list gets just bigger and bigger.
yeah.
So slightly different. There was one out of 2 were listed, and the people also ask. To Mark. Hello, Mark. So that was that answer.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it'd
slightly
be
different.
interesting. I would
Let's see
definitely
if there's
look at all of them and see.
let me just ask that follow-up question there and look at the people also ask here. So look, there's 3 there.
Yeah, what about, click on, okay, so it just says the 3, okay.
One thing I want to show you, once you've signed up for this, and if you've got, I don't know about Apple because I'm not an Apple person. I've got an Android phone. Now I see this on my mobile device as well. And it looks basically exactly the same. I can just demo what it looks like on mobile.
Interesting, Google has this is not legal advice.
Yes, a little disclaimer. Let me just show you what. Oh, okay. That's right. It doesn't work in the fake desktop. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, so
Typical.
you can check it on your cell phone and see.
Yeah. But yeah, you get that experience on your mobile phone. And then the other query is, here we go. I'll pop that in there. Again, no AI produced answer. So let's just hit generate anyway. So we've got Yelp, furniture land, capital somewhere or other, and a Google, and then a Google result there. That's a local Google term. We've got a map.
Looks like 2 of them are actually local businesses. The second and third one. Is that right, Beth? You're on mute, Beth, but okay.
Yes, and I'm happy to see that my client did not come up in that list. They don't want to be known as a discount furniture store.
Oh,
Even though
okay.
they are, they don't want
Okay.
to be known as discount.
Okay.
Good.
It was a backwards test.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, sometimes you want to do those too.
So Yelp is the number 1 here. Look, furniture land. is
Yeah,
down
Yeah,
here.
so once again, you get those Yelp things, and I don't trust any of the top 10 of anything that comes from Yelp or what's the other one? Like TripAdvisor. I don't trust that one either.
And Capital Disco.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
No, pleasure.
There's capital discount all the way
Right.
down at the
So
bottom.
right at the bottom. So the first three here are, well, that's number one. And then these are way down, you know, well, not way down, but they're lower down on the organic listing. So again, don't assume that that's position 1, 2, and 3 on Google Organic, because it's not.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just
Okay,
go through my hit
anyone
list.
have any more questions or queries to run? Got about 5 more minutes. This has been really fascinating. I think that, you know, a lot of what I'm getting out of it is not necessarily, you know, something to say, jump and make changes, but take a look at some of them and see, are there things you could add to your website that are, you know, like these questions here, or what are the competitors, you know, what do they have on their site and they're showing up that maybe you have not thought of?
Hey, Andy, do another one real quick for me. This will be the opposite of what I asked for before about the furniture store.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, she puts in the chat.
Got that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see furniture store ads in my feed for the next
I know.
6 months now.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Google thinks you want to buy some furniture.
I had to hit generate on there. So,
Yeah.
Aha, they're number 1 on the list. Hooray.
and again, you click on the listing just to show people the 5-pack again. You click on the listing and the right hand.
Yeah.
So, and that's typically, I don't know what I was thinking, but okay. Okay. But interesting. So if you go up to the top there, it has their Facebook page.
And their website.
And then their website, but the Facebook is first.
Right.
Huh. Interesting.
So Colfax Furniture there. So they've got 2 Facebook listings, Colfax, that one, and this, then you've got this as well.
Those are posts.
Yeah.
Well, good. I've been yelling at them because I told them they needed to do more.
But that's a good dominance
blogging.
of that. So
They're
again,
still
for
coming
you, that's a
through.
good dominance of that space. You know,
Yeah.
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 Well, they should. They've been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah.
See,
However,
we have
I'll
a big
say that
furniture market.
some-
We have a big furniture market here for like international. And then when those people leave, they don't want to take their samples back to France and Peru and everywhere they came from. So they want to sell them to somebody here. And this woman's been buying those for 50 years and reselling them, one of a kind furniture pieces.
It's good that they came up, because just because a business has been in business for 50 years does not mean that they've been doing online business, anything online. I've seen
No, I know. I
businesses
took
barely
over this
have a
website. I took over this website like a year and a half ago, and
Yeah.
they've got much better presence now,
Yeah.
thanks to me. And now I can prove that.
Yeah, exactly. Good job. Good job. Andy, earlier you were saying, so for example, if we were, well, I think you're talking about if somebody was not in the US and they wanted to do the VPN and fake that, is that different than using like the Chrome extension for a GS locator? Is that that's a lot
You've got to
different?
completely fake where your IP is coming from your computer.
Yeah. Okay, I know what VPNs
Yeah,
are. I just wasn't sure if we
so
could.
yes, you can't.
No, I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that we could not do it.
Yeah, you
via-
can't browse. You can't browse a fake.
Okay, so you have to use a VPN and not like a GS locator thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we ask questions when we know the answer because somebody watching might not
Yeah.
know the answer.
Well, that's true, but I did not know the answer. I just wanted to make sure I understood what he was saying. So, okay, perfect.
So that is all I said, register, play with it.
Yeah,
Let's see where
definitely.
this journey
This has
takes
been
us.
really helpful, Andy. Thank you so much. It kind
Thank
of
you.
validated some of my fears, which maybe isn't a good thing, but it gives me a place to go watch what's going on and watch as it evolves. And that is very helpful for somebody who's an analyst by nature.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And
Oh, speaking of
every-
analysts, completely sidetrack. Code Converter by ChatGPT is, I don't know if do you play with ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The new have you got the paid version?
Yeah.
There's the new option you can select called Code Converter, and you can analyze spreadsheets and data from, it's just. So anyway, so that was a complete tangent.
I've got some really complicated Excel formulas that I
Yeah.
need it to do for me. But I am in the process of rewriting the WP Project Managers Academy, project planning with AI using ChatGPT. I can now take a project that used to take me 2 days to plan out and do the whole plan for in less than an hour.
Wow.
Great.
And
Yeah.
estimating, you can get it to help you estimate because it's using information from out there on the web. What is the average person? How long does it take the average person to do this one particular thing, right? Okay, well, I'm doing it way faster than that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to charge for those hours because that's how long it takes the average guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay. Well,
brilliant, brilliant that way.
it is about 12:30, so we're going to get ready and head out. And just to follow up, I am putting in the link. I'll be speaking tonight at Beth's meetup for the Triad WordPress group. So there's the link to that in the bottom there. And I will have the video up by Monday, hopefully sooner, of this on our YouTube channel. And I've got the link there. I will go ahead and put that in again where all of our videos are. We put those up within a week of having those done. So our next meetup, again, it is the second Wednesday of the month, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And our next one is August the 9th. And Andy and I'll be letting you know what topic we're going to be.
Once we know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Hey, I have an
if you all-
idea. Ask ChatGPT.
Yes, if you all have something that you want discussed in these meetups, please put a
Leave it in the
chat
meetup. Leave it in the meetup chat because we see
in
that.
the meetup, because we definitely, want to hear what you all want to hear about. We definitely want to schedule things that you guys want to hear about. So definitely let us know. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you guys again next month. Thanks, and thank you, Andy. That was really great information.
Thank you. No, nice summary. Thank you, guys. Take
Thanks,
care.
guys.